Christmas decorations and toys are 25% off at Ollie's. Oh my gosh, you've got a week until Christmas. If Christmas is the holiday that you're buying for, to go to Ollie's and get those decorations and those toys at 25% off. And you know that the prices at Ollie's are already low to begin with. So, I mean, that was pretty cool. So here we are with the stuff that I saw at the craft table. And this is the dollar table, but I honestly didn't see anything on this table that was $1. It was pretty well picked over or was in the process of being moved somewhere else. But it did have a few little items on it, and it's got some really cool stuff. And I've done something new with the pricings. I've put the price of everything on the screen so that you can see it. So whether or not I get the actual price tag in the picture, or if it's clear or anything, at least you know how much each item is. So these two diamond painting things, they were $5 each, but they come with a book, and it looks like it's one canvas and all of the diamond painting supplies that you need, plus a book that goes along with it, so you get some information about dolphins or octopuses, and then you get to do the diamond thing. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. This was not that Astrobrite stuff, that was not cardstock, that was just paper, but it was still really beautiful. And this is the first store that I've seen multiples of these sketchbooks. And oh my gosh, look at this, look at this, oh my gosh, look at that. They have the table, those are the table Cricut lamps, and then they also have these little Cricut pads. And it was $3.99, but there's 3 pads in there. So I think that's a pretty good price. It's not something that I do, so it's not something that I would buy, but I think that was a pretty good price to get 3 of those pads for $3.99, and there were a lot of them. This is the Orange City store that's on I-4 between Daytona and Orlando. So this is the Orange City store, the Orange City's Ollie's, that's just off the highway between Daytona and Orlando. And these I thought were a great buy. It is $9.99, and that's a 2-pack. And these are huge canvases. These are huge stretch canvases over a frame. And to get them for $5 each, I mean, that's incredible. 24 by 30. This was also a 2-pack, and this one was, I think, even bigger, but you'll have to look at the size on the sticker. And this was a 1-pack, and it was even bigger, still $10, but oh my gosh, all of these packs were $10 each, and these are just huge canvases. So they had a whole bunch of those canvases, and they had this ring of acrylics, and the ring is just beautiful. And I get a better look of it later because it was underneath the table behind all the canvases, so I couldn't reach it. I've actually zoomed in on my camera so I could show it to you. But all of those canvases right there, that is a huge canvas buyout, and that is a great price. And then this right here, every one of those boxes that you're looking at, that is a chart paper pad. When you know, one of those things that you hang on charts, and you can sit there and rip off pages, and you can use them for demonstrations or for doing math or for figuring out long form equations or just doodling, playing Pictionary, whatever. $5 a piece. Oh my gosh. And then I'm fighting with it right now to get it to turn over so I can show you all the stats on it, because I got one hand holding my camera and I've got one hand trying to turn this over. But there you go. There's $5 for this entire huge paper pad. This would be such a cool thing to bring to a family, to bring to a household, or to bring into your household so that your family's there. You can play Pictionary on this great big huge piece of paper. Amazingly cool stuff. And then the acrylic paints that I told you about, they're right here. And look at all the different colors of there. There's 30 of them, and that is such a good price. $8 for 30 of these. You get a palette with them additionally, but look at the range of colors that you get with those acrylic paints. Oh my gosh. They're just beautiful. Imagine that on a gel plate and maybe a brayer so that somebody could do some gel painting with those beautiful acrylic paints. Oh my gosh. And look at this. This is an obstacle course. For $50, you get a complete obstacle course, and you can pause it. I forgot to pause it and show you what it is specifically in there, but oh my gosh, that is such a neat idea. This turned into a dig store, and I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm not going to cast any aspersions at this one, because this store is usually really well organized, but we're talking a week before Christmas. Today is 1 week before Christmas Day. And these stores, you know, they're having a real hard time keeping up with everything kept neat because so many people are coming in to buy stuff, which quite frankly is why I'm not going into nearly as many Ollie's as I have been. I need to protect myself, and I need to make sure that my anxiety doesn't get the better of me inside an Ollie's and doesn't turn into a panic attack inside an Ollie's, because then I will lose Ollie's. Ollie's will no longer be, in my mind, considered safe. So I have to be really careful with these Ollie's trips. After the holidays, I'll be able to make more Ollie's trips. And after the holidays, I'm really hoping that more of these craft items will come out. But these would make a unicorn. These would make such amazing gifts for people. Even if, and one of the people in the guild said that they give these to Toys for Tots. And so you could give crafting materials to people with Toys for Tots. You could give crafting material to any of the gift drives. This is one that I've never seen in any Ollie's, this wire jewelry kit, because this wire jewelry kit comes with a jig that you can sit there and make different shapes with your wire, and it comes with instructions and everything. I think that is super cool. That is a really neat kit for $8 to sit there and make jewelry with. And that would be a great thing to give to a kid who's interested in doing jewelry making, or even an adult who's interested in trying jewelry making, so that it's an $8 kit. They get everything that they need to try it out. And if they don't like it, they haven't really spent a lot of money on it, or you haven't spent a lot of money on it. And it's a really great way to test out a craft and decide whether or not that craft is something that you wish to pursue, because there are so many different crafts in the world that it's really easy to get overwhelmed by them. But if you get a little kit like this, because this is that squeegee painting that is so popular on so many of the social medias right now, these little squeegee things where you put the specific little dots down and then you paint it out into a picture, or you use a squeegee to turn it into a picture. That was that idea of that craft thing right there. I did not see a price. Oh, I did see a price on the puzzle. Yeah, so this is a puzzle. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. But again, we are a week before Christmas. It is totally fine for these stores to be a little unkempt, because so many people have picked up things and moved them around that it's really, really difficult for any retail store to maintain beautification the entire time. Neon friendship bracelets, really, really cool kit. And I just noticed over there that was another one of those stands that you use in order to make your fondant and your icing really smooth on your cake. So they had one of those too. I don't think that they had everything on their dollar table, because I saw a lot of things that I have seen on many, many dollar tables in the aisles. So we're not up to that yet, but I think a lot of the things that were on the dollar table have been moved over to the aisle, which is why I think that dollar table that I was at the very beginning was so scarce. I loved this picture. This reminds me of a cross between the person who did art for Mad Magazine and the person who does SpongeBob SquarePants. I love it. And throw in a little bit of Dr. Seuss with it. I thought that was an amazingly cool art book for how to draw something. I thought that was the neatest thing. And then look, balloon animals. I haven't seen balloon animals in any Ollie's, but this is the book, and it's the pump, and it is the balloons to teach you how to make balloon animals. That would be so much fun for any kid or adult to learn how to do. And this is one of the sets of chalk. You know what I keep saying about the chalk. Those were $1.99. What I thought was interesting is that these chalk were $2.99. It's just, there's a difference in price in what you want to. I'm sorry, it was $3.99, but there's a difference in price in what particular mode of chalk you want. Oh, it's such an inside joke on my channel. I love this foil. This is 50 sheets of foil with a foil tool, and it looks like it's the kind of foil that you can use just sticky to make it stick on something. So like that two-way zig pen. I have really considered buying this over and over again, because for $7, which I think was the price of it, you get 50 sheets of foil that you can use that zig pen to put a glue down, and then when it's dry and you haven't put anything on top of it, then it's got that sticky to it. You can just place that down on top of it and rub it down really nicely, and then pull it off, and you've got that foil transferred to wherever it is on your greeting card or in your memory book. They did have that one resin mold. I didn't see any other resin molds. It was $2. It's the one that looks like a little hand, so you can put things in it like a ring or something. And these ProMax highlighters that were in the last store that I were in, again in this store. The penny book, which is really bad timing. And I also don't even know what price it was, because the portion of the price tag that would have had a price on it had been ripped off. So I have no idea what price that penny book was, but either really bad timing or really good timing, because this is now the time to start looking for those old pennies that are never going to come back, or, make a book. Oh, excuse me. I have the hiccups now. Excuse me. Or to make a book with all of the new pennies, the last of the new pennies, the last of the pennies. Find 2025 pennies and just the last of the pennies. So, and I've never seen this Dreamer book before, and I thought it was beautiful, but it does have the dream catcher in it. So I'm a little shaky on whether or not that should be sold, but that's me. That's a me thing. You do you. You are the one who has to decide how to spend your money and where to spend your money. That is completely up to you. It's not something that I would buy for something that I believe, but if you want to buy that for somebody, by all means, go right ahead. You know, my decisions are right for me. Your decisions are right for you. Look at this beautiful pink petal paper. That is cray paper, but it is sheets of cray paper that you can use in a junk journal. You can use it in a memory book. You can use it in card making. You can use it in any form of paper crafting. You could actually make petals out of it because that's what it's made for. These pieces from Dollar Tree, not the best price. I don't think Ollie's did themselves a favor by buying those because you could have bought them for 25 cents at Dollar Tree. I don't know how much this was. It did not ring up at the register. So I honestly have no idea how much this was, but it was beautiful ribbon with that beautiful twine in there, beautiful white. It would be an awesome embellishment for card making. Here's those marker boxes that are supposed to have markers in them because the list of content says that it has markers, but every one that I have ever seen has been bereft of markers. There's not been a single marker in any of them. That's the other color set. I didn't pause on it, but that's the other color set of the highlighters. And then look at these cool bows. I mean, $1 for a super pretty, really large bow. That would be a great present, a great box topper for a present that was wrapped in craft paper or a present that was wrapped in some sort of brown or beautiful paper like that. Really, really cool. I just thought that bow was really nice. Or you could take it apart for the ribbon because that's an awful lot of ribbon that you could just take the bow apart and use the ribbon in some other craft. These ocean pens were gorgeous. They did end up in my cart, but I also put them back because I love them, but I just could not justify buying any more markers. If you've watched my channel at all, you know that the last thing I need, the absolute last thing I need is any more markers, but I love them so much. Markers are awesome. These are the frozen markers and they were $1.99. I saw them in a different video where they didn't have a price tag on it. Now, that does not mean that in the store that I saw them in previously, they were also $1.99 because Ollie's prices are not completely consistent from store to store to store. There are a lot that stay the same, but there are also several items that have different prices from store to store to store. So remember that because sometimes you can buy things for cheaper if you wait and get it from another store. I thought these pens were really cool. They're nice looking pens. They have a really good grip on them. It was only $1.49 for all those different colored pens. So I thought that was really cool. And I really do believe that the barrel color was the color of the ink, but I did not verify that. They also had these little chalk markers, and I don't do a lot with chalk markers. And what do you do with craft? What do you do with crafts with chalk markers? Let me know what you do with them because I don't really understand the draw that chalk markers have because to me they smudge too much, and I don't want things that smudge. So honestly and truly, I'm looking for information because I would love for you to let me know what you use the chalk markers for because I would love to see if that's something that I could incorporate into my crafting. They did have a few of these little bottles of the cake drip. I think they had 4 total, and that is all that I saw for the baking stuff. They didn't have any other baking stuff that I saw. Now, I did not go down the food aisle, so there could have been some stuff in the food aisles, but I didn't see it. This is an example of something that's a different price from store to store. I've seen this in 2 other stores, and in both of those other stores, it was $1. But at this store, it's $2. So that's an example of an item that in one store will be one price, but in another store will be another. I did not focus on it, but that pouring medium, that was $8, and then that half gallon of glue, I didn't look at the price tag of. But these I've never seen. Never seen these before. These are storyline pages that you put into a memory book, and they're made by Heidi Swap, so you know their quality. And it was $3 for this whole huge pack of it. And I wish I could have left the crunchy noise in because it made a fantastic crunchy noise. Here is one of the dollar items that used to be on the dollar table, and now this is the only one that I found. It's on a shelf, just sitting there. It's Welcome Baby, and it's geared towards the boy side of baby. And it was just a really pretty little set, but again, the only one that I saw. And then you've got examples of things that really shouldn't be in the craft department. These were really pretty. They had several of them back behind, but be careful if you pick up one of those because some of those cakes of the watercolors were out of place. And then these were tubes of watercolor. So this store had 2 different versions of watercolor that you could buy. You could buy it in the cakes or you could buy it in the tubes. And either one would be nice, but the advantage of the tubes is that they came with brushes, and I believe it came with a palette, but I'm not looking at it anymore, so I'm not sure. They had one box of Orbeez sitting on the shelf, and they had a few of these Magic Color Pour acrylic paints, and they had 2 colors that I saw, that beautiful blue and that beautiful gold. And they were $1.49 each, and they were a really good buy at that. But that's the price that they've been at almost every store that I've seen it in. At one store, I did see them. They were about 99 cents. And I think that's the cheapest I've ever seen them, but that was only one store. Another thing I've never seen before. This is a 3-pack of a specific brand of vinyl that I've never seen before. And they had 2 packages of it, one on this shelf and then one on an end cap. And I thought that was an interesting little bundle because there were rainbow colors in it. And that's the first time I think that I've seen, standard primary rainbow colors on vinyl in any of these. So I thought that was a really cool thing to find. They did have a few other items on this shelf, but you can see that the shelves are not very well laid out. And I honestly think if you look right there at the top, that might be the Cricut foil, but it's not gold. I'm sorry, it's not red, it's silver. But I didn't notice it until I was doing the editing, and I honestly don't know if it is the Cricut foil or if it's something else. It might also be a calendar. I really don't know. So because I didn't pull it out and look at it while I was in the store, I honestly have no idea what that is. So there's that. I loved that coloring book. The sentiments in it were just, they're my vibe. You know my vibe, the whole where there's life, there's hope, and the whole stay, and the whole you're needed, and this too shall pass. Those are my vibe. That's what I like to, encourage other people to understand, that where there is life, there is hope. Stick around and find out, because there's a lot here. And I guarantee you that somebody will notice that somebody knows you, and somebody will notice. There's a story going all over the social medias right now about this man who came into a restaurant every Friday and he ordered the same thing. And one day he didn't show up, and one of the people who worked at that restaurant went looking for him. Somebody knows you. Somebody is aware of your schedule, aware of your patterns. Somebody will miss you. All right. And it might not be anybody that you would consider in the first place. The guy that gives you your drink at the drive-thru, the guy that, gives you your coffee when you go into whatever store you go into, the restaurant that you eat at maybe once every month. They know you and they will notice. So just remember that the most what's the word that I'm looking for? The most unexpected places, there are people who know you, and just hold that deep in your heart and just stay for all of us. Where there's life, there's hope. Okay, I'm done. I'll go on with the walkthrough, but look at all these beautiful journals that they had. And some of these journals didn't have prices on them, but they ranged in price from $2.99 to $4.99. And some of them were much prettier than others. Some of them were much higher quality than others. This is a Great Works one that was in great condition. This was a beautiful journal. It wasn't super pretty because it didn't have a great picture on the front, but it was quality and you could tell. And that's 4 rolls of storage tape. It's not packing tape, it's storing tape, for $8. I don't think they did a good job buying those vinyl rolls, because they're still selling them for $1 when you could have got them at Dollar Tree for 25 cents at one point in time. Somebody in the guild has mentioned that the Bazil boxes did not have cards in it. And I have now, for the first time, seen a Bazil box of envelopes. Every other time that I've seen those Bazil boxes, they have had they've had the note cards with them, but now they're starting to show up in our area. This is Central Florida, that they don't have the envelopes with them. I found like 1 or 2 boxes of these cards, and I found this for making sourdough. I only found that one box of the sourdough maker, and then here's another one of those Bazil. I mean, Bazil envelopes are still nice. $1.99 for 60 Bazil envelopes is still nice, but it's so much better to pay $1.99 and get all the note cards too. That was just a great thing. And I picked this up because I thought it was a crafting thing. It turned out to not be a crafting thing, but I'd already picked it up. So I stuck it in the video so that you could see it and decide whether or not it was something that you'd be interested in. This is the only paper pad that I saw. It is a Vicky Bouton paper pad, and it's got like notebook paper and pencils and things like that, but it's also got some other accoutrements, like you saw that page of butterflies go by and some paintbrushes. So it's a creativity one, and it's got a lot of potential. And normally when I only find one thing in a store and I buy that one thing, I don't leave that item in my videos, because I don't want to sit there and say, yes, this is here, and then I have bought the last one. But this store was so disheveled because of the timing and the Sorry about that. Somebody in a very loud vehicle just went by. But because the store was so disheveled and because of the timing, this being a week before Christmas, I left it in the video because it's quite possible that there are more of those Vicky Butan paper pads in there. Oh, and that paper pad was double-sided, by the way. I thought that that one that I was just holding up was a great value because you get the pieces of wood plus stickers to decorate the wood. And then this is 3 inserts that you can put into a journal so that you have more and more pages in your journal. Another example of things that aren't where they're supposed to be, this is a coloring book, but it's a really beautiful one, and I don't do a very good job of displaying it because I'm still, again, trying to do this one-handed. So I've got my one hand with my camera, and I've got the other hand where I'm trying to flip through the pages, but it does have some beautiful pictures in it. It's got that classic wave that you usually see from the, I believe it was a Japanese artist who did it originally, and it was just beautiful. There were a lot of really nice ones, and that particular coloring book I would call intermediate to advanced. The other coloring books that I've showed, they were beginner. I still don't understand this. It's still $3. It is still a mink clipboard. Don't get it. I have no idea what it's for, unless there's more stuff in that package than I'm aware of. But it looks like it's just a mink clipboard. Maybe it has other things in there. Maybe I just haven't read it well enough to know that it's a good value. I've never really seen the purpose of buying a clipboard that says mink just to have mink on my clipboard. But that's me. You do you. It's your money. You spend it your way. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just pointing out what's there. There was a point in time when this cover would have made me buy that immediately, but things have changed and I'm just not there anymore. So, but it is a really cute little album, and it does have a lot of really cute Disney stuff in it. It's Pixar, but it's a lot of the newer Pixar, not as much as the older Pixar, but it's still really a cool album of stuff. And here I am just sorting through the different things to see what all is in here and what all is in these stacks, so you get an idea of whether or not it's worthwhile to start digging. This is a book that's actually made for chalk markers, and I'm not sure how well it will work, because to me, chalk markers just keep smudging all the time. And this book, oh my gosh, I've highlighted this before, the Dream Walls Wanderlust, and it's got all these beautiful pictures in it that you can stick on the walls, and they make it just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, these pictures are amazing, and they could be used in paper crafting, they could be used in memory books, you could frame them and stick them on the wall, you could decoupage them to your wall, you could decoupage them to a piece of furniture. Any of those ideas would be amazing. All right, junk journals, put those pieces of paper in there. And then this was an end cap that had a lot of little kits on it, more unicorns. And I love these little cute crochets. Look how cute they are. Oh, I think they're just adorable. And then I'm just looking at the rest of the stuff that's on the shelf. I'm not really highlighting anything on the shelf, but I'm looking at the rest of the things that are on the shelf. I keep looking at these rock kits, and no, they did not have the Arteza mandala dot tool thingy that I've been looking for. We did look through the store. It was really busy, so I made my husband stay with me the entire time. So we probably didn't cover the entire store, because normally in the before, when it wasn't so close to the holiday, then I would be able to, do what I was doing, and he'd be able to walk a couple aisles away. But right now he has to stay right with me because my anxiety is just too high for him to not be with me while I'm in these stores right now, because of the holiday and because they're more crowded and because the displays are taller. That was the only box of those Cricut cards that I found. But look, I found this beautiful yarn for, oh my gosh, wait till you see the rest of the yarn. Oh my gosh. Oh, I found the mother load of a really great quality yarn for $5 a skein. These were also $5 a skein. And they had these purple ones that were beautiful, but they had mostly those mottled blue and yellow and black ones that were really pretty. And you could do so many things. You could get enough of those to make a full blanket out of it. So I thought that was really cool. This turned out to just be a lunch bag. I thought it was a crafting bag, but it was just a lunch bag, which I say just a lunch bag. There's value in lunch bags, but it wasn't the craft bag that I wanted it to be. And they had this round piece. This is like 12 inches round, and it's for $5, and it's already painted black for you, so you've got part of the work already done. I only found one box of this. There may be other boxes somewhere else in the store. Like I said, this store is not as organized as it's been in the past, and that's a lot to do with the fact that we are at a week before Christmas. It's okay. It's a week before Christmas. And I love these Arteza markers. I absolutely do. And I still haven't bought them. Maybe someday I will, but I love the box of them. They're just really pretty. The Arteza desk set, they had those. They had the these little note cards that were so pretty, and I love them so much. And they had a different set of these note cards, or these postcards that you get to color. I mean, this is adult coloring book postcards for $3 for 50 of them. So you can sit there and color them and then send them off in the mail so that everybody in the postal service gets to view them and enjoy them. And then when your recipient gets them, they get to view and enjoy it. And I thought that was really neat. And this is cool. It's unusual animal information. If you have somebody, a budding kid who's learning to love all the different things that live in the nature of the world, I mean, absolutely a really great gift for them. Or if you have somebody who loves that kind of thing in their adult ages and their adult years, you know, it's just a great present. It really is. And I thought that this butterfly dish, which did not have a price on it because it's been ripped off, I thought that would make a great watercolor palette. You know, put the different colors in the wings and then you could mix them together. I didn't buy it, but I thought that would be a great use for that beautiful little glass butterfly dish. And now we're into the gifts. And there were a lot of really cool gifts, like this bottle. This bottle does not have vodka in it, but it does have peppermint in it. So you pour your vodka in there and you infuse it with peppermint and you get peppermint vodka out of it. And I thought that was a neat idea for a purpose-built bottle that already has the word vodka etched onto it. This was the mystery popcorn thing, and I didn't understand why it was a mystery, but I did point it out. Some of these gifts were more than I would pay, but remember that all these gifts are, oh wait, I don't know if the gifts are. All the toys and all of the Christmas decorations are 25% off. I don't know if these gifts are or not, but if they do go to 25%, that's actually a really decent price. And look, they have Grinch biscuits. I loved those. I thought those were the neatest thing. And then they have these Toblerones, and they have them 3 different tiny Toblerone flavors, but they have it in 2 different sizes. So you can get this size that's $6, or you can get the smaller size that I believe, I'm sorry, that was $7, or you can get the smaller size that I think was $5. So you've got 2 different weights of packages. So, you know, you give the one to the people you like more, and you give the smaller one to the people you like less. And this little teapot for 2 was just so cute. I really loved that. And then those are mixers for alcohol. And these, oh my gosh, I love the phrases on these. And you could like roll them like dice. And they were only $1 a piece. This is an incredible buy. If you see these in your Ollies, this is definitely something to put on a shelf. And then if you're just having a down moment, just roll it and see what it says. And all 6 sides are something uplifting. And there's 2 different ones. It would be really nice. And I'm not highlighting any of the prices on any of these. I'm just showing you what they have for holiday decoration in this particular Ollie's. I don't know what they have in other Ollie's, but this is the Orange City Ollie's, and these are the items that they have left for Christmas decorations. And right now, all the Christmas decorations are 25% off. You can't beat that price. Well, I mean, you probably can, but it's a really good price. I mean, Ollie's has really good prices to begin with, and now they're discounting their already really good prices. So I did pick up a couple items to look at. I'm not sure where the bunny falls into Christmas, but I did look at a couple of these items, and you get to see what the prices were. The larger tree, this one right here, I don't remember the price tag of. I do have a price tag in camera a little later, but I didn't get the important part of the price tag in the camera. You can see it there, but I did not quite get the price tag. I think they were $8 each, but I'm not quite sure. So as we finish looking at the decorations that are here, and then there's a little bit of toys and stuff that you could buy. I am so appreciative of everybody who has liked, subscribed, watched it all the way through. I am absolutely and 100% thrilled with everything. Apparently the Bernat blanket yarn didn't make it. They had multiple colors of Bernat blanket yarn for $5 at this Orange City store. It apparently got cut off. Cheers!